package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with quite a sizable package in the mail, all the way from the US, from my good friend John Hancock. I've been doing some things with him, we've blocked him and socked him, and he's become a really good friend, and he sent me, talking about an Atari console that I didn't have in my collection, and John has gone out and found one, checked it out, and sent it across with a few goodies in there as well. So what we'll do, we'll zoom into the box and open it together. Right, so here we go. Got the box cutter out. Let's see what we can see. So the only hint you have so far is an Atari console, one that I don't have in my collection, and I do have quite a lot of Atari stuff in my collection. So what is it? Guesses down below. Okay, it's quite a big box. Be careful not hitting the camera. Very well packaged. So John facilitated buying this off an Atari Age member for me, you know, he actually said he really enjoyed the hunt and trying to find one of these for me, and you know, and seeing how we go. So a little bit of a giveaway. So in the top we have a lovely boxed and complete copy of Block'em Sock'em for the Atari. Now the cartridge says it's used for Atari 5200 Super System, Atari 400, 800 XL, XE and 48K. So which system is it? Well, we'll leave that in suspense just for a little bit. It'll become blatantly obvious when I remove a bit more packing. Then it is none other than an Atari 5200. None of these were ever released over here in Australia. And I love my Atari stuff. Oh my goodness, it's a beast. So this is the first time I've physically held one in my hands. The closest I've got is I saw one on a shelf last year at the Game On Expo. That was really unfortunate, which is where I met John in person for the first time. Really unfortunate. I couldn't go this year, but circumstances will have out. Right, so so there's two different models, and this is a 4-port one. And this it really is a beast. I won't do that with it. There's a compartment here where you store the controllers. It's taped shut at the moment. Now it's been, very importantly, it's been AV modded. Very cool. So it's a very big console. What we'll do, we'll just put him aside for a minute while we check out the rest of the contents. And then we'll have a play with the console. So in here is included some games. So there's a copy of Galaxian. Now, Galaxian for the Atari 8-bit is one of the first games I played on the Atari 8-bit. This version is supposed to be pretty much identical. So the 5200, for those that are not familiar, is pretty much the identical hardware as the Atari 8-bit computer line, but put into console form, and obviously large physical form. But they also decided to use a different size cartridge. So you have to have Atari 5200 cartridges. And for the last probably 6 years, I've actually had several, I think it's about 6 complete in-box Atari 5200 cartridges, but no console to play them on. So this sort of fills a hole in my collection. And it's a nice, neat way of being able to play Atari 8-bit games, but in console form. And some of the games have actually been changed or enhanced for the later release. So I'm looking forward to trying some of those out. So, Galaxian. PacMan. And the 8-bit version of PacMan is very good. Centipede. Great game, great arcade game. Now, power supply. We'll open that up in a second. Something else in here. Might get our packing knife out. Ah, that's right. So he had a whole lot of PCBs that don't have cases. I'm going to print cases for these to neaten them up. We have baseball, Dig Dug, Defender, cool game Defender, and cool version on the Atari 8-bit, Jungle Hunt, tennis, oops, soccer, the good old Space Invaders, and this is a really cool one, Kangaroo. I'm actually working on a port of Kangaroo to the Coleco MSX Spectravideo and SG-1000. It's actually my next game that I'm going to release. And I've played the Atari 2600 version, but I don't think I've played the Atari 8-bit version, or at least not for a very, very long time. All right, I don't think we've missed anything. So hang on a sec, we'll put the console back up and have a closer look at it. Right, back again. We'll just zoom in a little bit further so you can see the console. And what we'll do, we'll open up. Right. Now it has a controller with it. Now the Atari 5200 controllers are quite strange. It's like a floating thing. They have a lot of problems with them, but they do have more buttons than an Atari 8-bit, and that's why some of the games have been modified to use some more of the buttons and the number pad and things. It's actually quite an interesting feeling. I've never actually held a joystick, one of these joysticks in my hand at all before. And that plugs into one of the slots in the front. So very cool. The actual buttons feel quite nice. As an example, I'll be interested to see with like Defender as an example, because when you play the Atari 8-bit, you only had one button on your joystick, and to do a smart bomb, you had to press the spacebar. So I used to play with the computer on the floor, so I could press the spacebar with my toe. So we'll see if it makes a difference actually having a joystick with multiple buttons, and we'll see what it's like. And I'm quite prepared to make myself like an arcade stick for this at some stage as well. But that's pretty cool. I'm very pleased with that. We'll just get the power supply out. Now they do have a bit of a monster power supply. Now of course we're 240 volts here, so I'll be using a step down converter for this system. And it's already AV modded, so I don't need to worry about tuning it into RF. Oh, there's a bonus AV cord in there, that's pretty standard. The power brick's not as bad as I thought it would be actually. I mean, it's got a reasonable amount of heft there. So US plug, and then you've got the barrel plug at the end. Just for all the technical people out there, so input 120 volts, 60 hertz, 30 watt. Output's 11.5 volts DC, so single channel 1.95 amps. Not too bad, and that would actually probably be very easy to simulate from a laptop power supply, with the right polarity, of course. Now, one more thing before we plug it in and see how it's going. We better have a look at our copy here of Block'em Sock'em. Even included a box protector, thank you, John. I'm actually completely out of box protectors. I haven't been able to buy any of them. Oh yes, so he's got a little tick box of which system it is there. So the observant would have figured it out before I showed you the system. Oh, signed by John, copy number 41. there it is. He did a very good job with his labels. Very nice labels. And we have a nice manual. So John has a fair few of his titles now available online. He takes them to shows, but he's doing a little bit of online sales now as well. So he can mail them out to people. But he does try and take all of his games to the various shows that he goes to in the US and Canada. Oh, and South America as well. I believe he's got a show coming up there later in the year. Very good quality on the manual. It's even, the box even has a little flap to keep the manual away from the cartridge, which is really cool. So very good job. We'll definitely have to give that a play. So what I'll do is I'll get it hooked up and we'll play a couple of games. I'm not going to play all of these games and do them justice in this video, so I might do a little bit of a series of, you know, say 5 games at a time to follow up from this video. So, all right, back in a minute. Right, so here we go with Block'em Sock'em. So this one was done by Playsoft. Done some really nice music. Oh yeah, controls feel different. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so the idea is to clear the blocks. You get a star block to start with, and then you get a particular colour. And you've got to try and clear in as little moves as possible. 2 tosses to go. There's got different tunes for different ones, which is pretty cool. Oops, now I messed up. Well, as you can see, they've done quite a good version of the game. So, all the versions of Block'em Sock'em are similar, but there are some slight differences between them, so they've done a very good job of that version. I helped John manufacture the Atari 8-bit ones. He got these done by another person, and of course I wrote the ColecoVision, MSX version, Spectravideo version, and Sega SG-1000 version of Block'em Sock'em, which John has copies of if you meet him up at the show. Alright, we'll try the other games that came in shells. Let's try the next one. Right, so our next one to try is Centipede. Take it, we just press the start button. Because this joystick floats so much, so oops, it's quite a different, it doesn't self-center, if you know what I mean, so take a little bit used to it. Spider. As you can see, it is quite a decent version of the arcade. idea with Centipede is to try and build up a bit of a vertical corridor. Dreaded spider. Does me every time. I have to do better than that. Ooh. The dashes are quite... Oh. Can I beg that I'm a little out of practice? Well, that plays pretty much identical to the Atari 8-bit version, but it's a very good version. And I think I'm going to enjoy having this console set up, ready to play. Right, so next we have PacMan. You can play 1 or 2 players. You can change the game level and things like that, so we'll just press start and get into it. And as you can see already by the maze, it's not a bad replication of the PacMan layout. Interested to see how the joystick goes with this. I mean, it's reasonably smooth. Oh, I missed it by that much. Okay. Not going for a high score. Okay. Right, we made it. It is a rock solid version of PacMan. Really good graphics and just shows the Atari 8-bits graphics capabilities over the Atari 2600. And this was a console launch game too with the Atari 8-bits. That controller takes a little getting used to. I think that was close. I've messed up. I knew I was going to die then. So, 1 dot down here. Oops, I missed the corner then. Oh dear. I've left very bad ones to last. Ah. How to mess up your game. Got through that on the skin of my teeth. Oh, and it even has intermissions. I forgot about that. That's pretty cool. Having intermissions and things like that from arcade games really makes the difference in giving you that feel of the arcade. Ah, that was a bit silly. So there you go, very cool version of PacMan. Alright, one more to try. Right, and the last game I'll look at in this particular video. So this game, Galaxian, was the very first game I played on an Atari 8-bit system way back in the day when I first saw one. PacMan was probably the second game. I saw PacMan on the Atari 400 brochure, and always wanted one. Didn't get to own one way back then release because I definitely couldn't afford them, but I got to play them at the local store. So it's really cool. The Atari 8-bit hardware is quite powerful. Double the speed of the CPU of the Commodore 64, released 3 years before then, and has quite enhanced graphics capabilities and really advanced sound as well. And the system can be, pushed quite fast. So this is an early release game. I doubt they've made any changes for the Atari 5200, but that doesn't matter. Whoops, it tends to default to the bottom button. And this joystick's a little different than what you first expected. I always remember this having quite unique sounds. I think there's a reasonably safe spot over there. Hanging around. Oh, didn't time that right. Hey, made it. Of course, now it gets harder. Oh! One more ship. Oh, I'm conscious about it, I got game over. But there we go, we've had a quick look at 4 games. I have 6 box ones in my collection, and there were about another 7 or 8 that John sent loose. So I will print cartridge shells for those to neaten them up and look at figuring out some labels at some stage. But look forward to some more Atari 5200 gameplays coming up very soon. Thank you so much, John, for organising this. I really do appreciate all the trouble you've gone to finding me a working unit and then shipping it all the way over here to Australia. Not a simple process, and I really do appreciate it. And this fills a hole in my Atari collection. I now have every single Atari console that was released, which is a really cool thing to have, especially for a long-term Atari fan like me. And the Atari 8-bit really is one of my most nostalgic systems. After the MSX, of course, that comes first. But Atari was the one that introduced me to home video games, and had all of the great versions of the arcade games that I used to play at the actual arcades. I even have, as an example for this Galaxian, I have a sit-down Galaxian table. Still a work in progress, but yes, I love those early arcade games, and the Atari 8-bit is perfect for that. But it also has lots of other games to discover, and I'm quite interested in just slowly building up a collection of Atari 5200 titles. Obviously not going to go for boxed ones, but just loose in cartridge will be perfectly fine for me. Oh, and one thing I've just noticed, they do have overlays as well. I didn't notice the overlay on the back there. The PacMan actually has an overlay which just has 1, 2 player and game level on the back there, if you can see. And the overlays slip into the controller. Better check the others. No, and obviously broken socket on it, and nothing in the back of the Galaxian. So that was really cool. Got an overlay. Yeah, so once again, thank you very much, John, and I hope everybody else has enjoyed this video. I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.